What's up, guys? It's your girl Kia. I hate this rental car so much. Why? Because the mounted camera that I borrowed from my husband is at like this weird angle, and I feel like it's accentuating every feature that I hate. That's neither here nor there. So we are here to talk about the incident with Brittany Renner and PJ Washington. And if you haven't seen the video, people trying to pull out of the parking lot, not paying attention. If you haven't seen the video, it is a video of Brittany Renner at her home with what it looks like her father is in the frame, and then it looks like PJ Washington is coming to come pick up their child, who is a toddler right now. And she passes the baby over to PJ, and the baby, toddler, immediately starts to cry. Not a "you're hurting me" cry or "I'm terrified of you" cry, but I really don't want to go. I was comfortable where I was at. Like, I really don't want to go get in the car. I'm just unhappy, and no one's listening to me cry. I'm a mother of toddlers. I've heard that cry before. And when you become a parent, you learn you all know the different cries. You know the "I'm hungry," I'm mad at you, or "I didn't get what I want," or "I'm actually terrified," blood-curdling scream that kids can give. This just seemed like an annoying cry. So he takes the child, and Brittany immediately starts to say things like, "See, this is what I'm talking about. I can't do this. Every time he goes with you for the past 3 weeks in a row, he cries. Like, I don't know." And then she starts to follow PJ with the baby while he's holding the toddler. She starts to follow him to his truck that's waiting in the driveway. Little beknownst to anybody, I guess, whatever. His wife is also sitting in the passenger side of the truck. So the mom is now following with the camera. She's the one recording this incident. Why they recorded this, I do not know. I think they thought they were going to get some kind of sympathy from people who's going to say, "Oh yeah, we got to be protective as moms, and we got to watch out for our kids. We never know what's happening at the dad's house, blah, 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 blah," whatever. So the PJ finally gets annoyed and says, "Suck my D." And she was like, "What did you say? What did you say?" This is the mother. And he was like, "Suck my D." And she said something like, "I would if you had one." Now, again, Brittany Renner is younger than me. I think she's like, I'm 40, so I think Brittany is like 33, maybe 32. She's grown, but the way her mother is talking, she sounds like she had Brittany really, really young. If she thinks that's an appropriate thing to say to another man, to somebody who had a child with your daughter. Like, ridiculous. And I also just realized, I knew Brittany was biracial, but no one's ever seen her mom. And her mom has the Karen haircut. If you know, you know. She has the Karen haircut. She got the voice, the whole thing. It sounds like she was one of those white girls who was a little thick back in the day, got with a black man, had Brittany. And that's how she acts. And then the mom, again, we are just talking about the mom. We are not really talking about Brittany. Brittany is just standing off to the side. The mom then starts talking about how the baby only has $11,000 in the account, and how the wife got $110,000 and this and that and wedding and blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of garbage about PJ and his wife. And the wife snaps off and starts cussing back at him. So the mom with the camera then walks around the car to try to fight the wife. Brittany gets online later and says, "Yeah, I had to drag her and put her in a chokehold and all this kind of stuff." Nobody believes anything that Brittany has to say. PJ hasn't said anything, it seems like. The wife came out and put some subliminals out there, which I hate when people do the subliminal messages. But like I said, the part that's super confusing to me is that they posted this. This wasn't like PJ had recorded this for his safety and for his lawyers and for court. Brittany and her mom recorded this, and it was recording as soon as Brittany opened the door to do the child custody exchange. And it kind of, I don't know what they were trying to do. If they were trying to prove the child cries or that PJ gets angry at them, I don't understand it. But let's be real. Brittany, this is your fault. You had a child with a child when you were in your mid to late 20s. You had a child with a 20-year-old. He either might have been 20 or 21. He was fresh into the NBA, and you had a baby with him. Now that you are somewhat struggling, and listen, I'm not even talking about struggling financially. Brittany is struggling within herself in a lot of different ways. And I think she is trying to lash out in any way that makes sense when you think about it. Because
you were on basketball. Let's rewind. Britney was Muslim, and I looked it up. She was Muslim for exactly a year. Exactly a year. You can go back and look at it when she first made her first Muslim post to when she went back to dressing like a thought. It's exactly a year. And throughout that year, people criticized her. People were saying that it's not real. Why are you playing with people's religion? And she took off her hijab. And she was still dressing modestly. And then all of a sudden, she is now no longer Muslim at all. She's now dressing half naked again online. She's got her Fashion Nova stuff back. She's divorced from whatever Gates guy that was that she's divorced from. They were only married for a short period of time. Britney is just aimlessly floating in the wind, trying to figure out something with her life because there's nowhere really for her to go. She doesn't seem like she has any talent outside of being pretty. And that's not even a talent. That's genetics. So what is she supposed to be doing with her life? She's getting child support from PJ, fine, whatever. But is that really enough to create a life out of? No man really wants to date her. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of men who want to sleep with her, but no man wants to date her. Even Kevin Gates only was married to her for a short period of time. It doesn't look like he ever really took her seriously. I don't even know why they quote unquote got married. I mean, I don't understand what she's doing with her life. And then when you see how her mother behaves, it's like, this is why you are the way you are. Because this is the example you've been given your entire life. Your mother probably told you that you are beautiful and that you could probably get an athlete or a rapper or something, and that would be good for you. That's a way to get money. You become a little model, a little Instagram model, all that kind of stuff, and you get pregnant, and then you're good to go for the rest of your life. She's done all those things, and nothing has happened. She's not good for the rest of her life. And if I was PJ, I would take this video to court and get full custody of my son. Or at least have it where it's 50-50 split, where once it's 50-50 split, that child support amount that she gets a month gets drastically reduced. It doesn't get taken away, but it gets drastically reduced because they're now splitting time. So instead of paying, I don't know what he pays a month. I'm pretty sure it's some crazy psycho amount. But let's say he pays, $28,000 a month. So that $28,000 a month would possibly go to $10,000 a month. Or $8,000 a month because he's got the child 50-50 custody. Again, I keep going back to the same refrain. Why did you post this? Why did you allow this to be recorded? Why, Brittany, do you think after all of your antics, after pretending to be Muslim, after the behavior on Basketball Wives, after all the stuff you've done, you thought people were going to be on your side and support you? And then they made the comment that he's done this 3 weeks in a row. Then the mom said, you should come get him more. If he's getting the child, did they mean the last 3 times that he's picked him up? Or did they literally mean 3 weeks in a row because PJ is getting him every single weekend? No matter what the amount of time is, if he is getting his child consistently where you guys can say 3 weeks in a row, whether it's every week or every other week, whatever it is, he is making the effort to be around his child. And you seem to be making it hard for him for no reason. You may not like his wife, whatever, that's y'all business. But it has nothing to do with the relationship with his child and if he's a good dad. And some people were in the comments saying like, oh, see, look, PJ, look at the energy the baby's got to deal with from him. How stoic do we need men to be at this point? How much maturity do we want men to have when women are having the same maturity? It's the same thing on these housewife shows. I know that's a weird refrain, but every housewife show, the husband gets pissed off, and now the women on the show are being like, oh, he's in women's business. He's in women's business. Like, why not just let your wife deal with it? You guys are talking about him like he has no feelings. Y'all have no respect for him. You're talking about him like he's not a child of God. All this kind of stuff. And they're just supposed to sit there and smile and go, yep, I'm those things. And yeah, my wife will just deal with it. That's not normal. That is not normal. So how is PJ supposed to react when someone is coming at him with a phone in their hand, talking to them crazy, and he's supposed to just ignore it? That is very hard to do. Not everybody is capable of doing that. And they shouldn't have to. The mom should not be involved. And I guess the dad was there too. And he seemed very confused about all of it. And if I was him, I'd be embarrassed. But it doesn't look like the wife, Brittany's mother or Brittany listened to him. So who cares?
But it just was all bad, and it wasn't a good look for her. I think this is going to have some kind of ramifications. Again, if she thought that this was going to garner some support, possibly bring back some brand deals or something, it's not. It just puts her in the same position, if not worse. So those are my thoughts on Brittany Renner and PJ Washington's little video. Drop them in the comments. Let me know if you feel the same way. Let me know if you have baby mama or baby daddy stories. You know, I mean, I would go into my baby mama stories because my husband has an ex-wife, and we had to deal with her. I haven't dealt with her in years because, you know, she moved away due to mental illness. But, you know, I've had experiences with her, and my husband has tried to snap on her before, and I've had to tell him, you can't talk to her like that. You can't talk to her like that. That's his mom. And he would get annoyed because he's like, you don't know what I go through. I'm like, I don't know what you go through, and I get it, but you just can't say stuff. But anyway, that's my opinion. Drop in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.